How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well out there. Oh, I see names out there. Hey, everyone! Thanks for joining me. So happy to see you on another Saturday. I'm actually holding my Epiphone Signature ES335 right now. Pretty exciting. It's coming out August 22nd, so hopefully you follow my newsletter to be notified when that comes out. Also, real quick, really excited, September 1st in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm doing a show. I've been doing some live shows lately. I did one in New York. Did an event in Vail, Colorado recently. And so now September 1st, to kind of celebrate the launch of the signature guitar, I'm doing a show in Nashville at the Analog. So you can just, follow my Instagram, follow me here, and you'll find out more. But yeah, so that's September 1st in Nashville at Analog. Also, my show debuted, my TV show, Marty Music Guitar Academy, debuted Tuesday. And I heard from a lot of you who watched it, and I really... Oh, Chris Compton, nice, first episode. Thank you. So everyone that tuned in to Marty Music Guitar Academy on Access TV, I really, really want to say thank you. And the next episode is Tuesday. So check out for Access TV. It's a, been fun new adventure. So yes, so I'm going to talk about the BB box in this live stream, but, kind of just, had to plug my stuff. Yeah. And yes, this is the guitar. It's an Epiphone ES335. It's cherry red. It's got Alnico pickups, locking tuners, AAA flamed maple top and body, and a hard shell case, and $100 credit towards my courses at martymusic.com as well. So that comes out August 22nd. But you can be notified on all the stuff I've got going on. The best way is to just sign my newsletter at martymusic.com. And I obviously appreciate that support, So anyway, yeah, that's a lot of different stuff. I'm going to play my signature guitar here for a second, use my looper pedal, and then I'm going to talk about that BB box. And then you guys can have, a great rest of your weekend. And I don't have anyone here helping me today with the live stream. I'm here by myself, so Brian is not here. But if there's any important questions, or topics you'd like to ask or want to know about, let me know in the comments, and I'll go through those in a sec. And then after a little jam, we'll do some BB box and some shout outs. Josh Norco, how's it going? Yeah, no, Brian, Brian's got a 5-year-old daughter, and summer is prime time, birthday party, pool parties, jumpy times, neighborhood barbecues, all that stuff. So he's got his hands full. So I don't know if you guys saw, I did a short where it was the Rolling Stones, and it was E, D, A, E. Sorry, I'm looking at your comments too. But you can play E blues over that whole thing. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so anytime you're in a, that particular progression doesn't really fit in one key. It's a classic set of rock chords, and you can use that pentatonic over it almost all the time. But so that is basically, we could just consider that progression the same as like an E blues. Hey, Ben, I did go to music school, but, I didn't really even use the internet during college. I mean, it was kind of before that time. So music school is great, but there's so much more information out there now. But yeah, I did learn this in school. Okay, so if you're like in a blues and E, fifth fret B string is the E, right? And typically you have this great little box right here on the B string 3-5 and on the high E string 3-5. So but you can put your index finger on that root instead of your ring finger in this box. Instead, I can use my index finger on that root. And then my middle finger is going to be sliding into the 6th fret of the G here. And those two notes are actually more like E major pentatonic, but we can just think of this as the BB box, which is a way to access actually the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic in one position. So it'd be 6th fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, and then the box is this box. But you have to learn how to use it. Now, if you also look at that B string root, you can see the straight minor pentatonic, which would be the 7th fret G, 5 of the B, 8 of the B, and then 5 and 7 on the high E. But the BB box is... And they all mix together really well. So if I just did a groove in a bluesy kind of thing, E7. So that's my little groove. I got the B string right here, 5th fret, and the 6th fret of the G. Watch that. And so when you get to that 7th fret B string of this box, that's where that 7th fret high E, you can bend it a half step to that minor third like this. Got to use your ear a bit to do that. Now, that same 7th fret B string, if you bend it up a whole step, that's the major third, so it's very sweet and majory. So instead of, you could also do, as a choice, so then the other thing you could do is bend it up a whole step and a half step, which is more minory. But then you have a whole bunch of choices also on that high E string. And so that's the 7th fret bent a whole and half step. All in one little position. So I'll just stay right in that spot. And it's just over in E blues. All right. B string root. So, BB box, you could just work some stuff there, but then when you feel like you kind of worked everything out of that, you can then go right into your normal blues here, which is, 5-3, 5-3. And then that middle finger on the 4th of the G slid down to the 2nd into that home row open E. So, BB box, that's what I wanted to talk about. And you can do a lot with that. Actually, my Tasty Zone bundle at martymusic.com has a whole entire course on just that BB box. You can check that out. Although I'd say in about a week from now, that'll probably be on sale, so you could wait. I was just playing that in like a blues and E. But I was finding the E note on the B string to plug in to that BB box. Communicating with my hand. You'd think I was from Jersey or something. Yeah. Oh, Greg Levinson. Thanks so much for saying so. Yeah, 37 days. I didn't know the actual days, but 37 days until my Epiphone ES335 comes out. So sign my newsletter at martymusic.com to be notified. I've been getting a lot of messages about it, so thank you. September 1st in Nashville, I've got that show. And I'm going to be giving one of those guitars away. Also, I've got a bunch of really cool surprises, special guests. I'm going to be giving away a katana. I'll have merch there. I'll be meeting it's not so big that I can meet every single person and hang out. I will be calling some people up to jam from the audience. It's not a clinic, though. It's more of a show, but I'll be calling people up. I've also got Jared James Nichols is going to be sitting in. And I also have other surprises that I'll keep announcing, but another one that I'll announce today is my good friend and one of my favorite guitar players, Guthrie Trapp, will be sitting into that as well. But there's more surprises, more guests. That's just the first two that I've confirmed, or that I want to confirm with you, because I have to drag this out, because the gig is still, how far away is it? It's over a month away. McAllister Niemi, how does the BB box work? Well, one thing is in a blues setting, like a 12-bar blues, the most basic blues is actually not in one key. If you look at like traditional music theory, a 12-bar blues is actually not in one key. But we play the minor pentatonic over all three of the chords of the blues. Astronaut, thank you for the super chat so much. I got distracted by your super chat. But I've had a handful of great guitar teachers, but you can check out my college guitar teacher named Chris Sherland, who, someone just said it right there. He has got a channel you can check out. He's newer to the whole YouTube thing. He was my guitar teacher in music school in college, but he left that kind of professional musician world back 25, 27 years ago. And he worked in like software and game development and stuff. He always continued to play guitar, but he just didn't do it for a living anymore. And then during the pandemic, he wanted to do a channel and do all this stuff. And so that's how that kind of came to be. And I helped him kind of start off his channel. He has some guests. He's got some great lessons here on Marty Music Channel as well. But Chris Sherland, you can check him out. I was talking about the BB box. So a 12-bar blues is not one key, but our ear likes the minor pentatonic or the blues scale over that whole 12-bar blues, right? But the BB box accesses some notes that are not in the minor pentatonic that still also work in a blues. So just the minor pentatonic, like just the E minor pentatonic over in a blues in E, there's actually more notes than that you can play in a blues. But those are just like the kind of strongest notes. But so then there's also the major pentatonic. If I just played the straight major pentatonic, let's see. Yeah, I have a habit of always deleting my loops. So check this out. If I'm just playing an E blues, well, I can play the E minor pentatonic over that, and that sounds like this. I can add the blues note to it. So then that's the blues scale. But you can also play the E major pentatonic over that, and it's very like country happy sounding. So you don't typically want to do that over the whole blues, but that scale sounds like this. Right, doesn't really work all the way, but parts of it will if I then go back into the minor pentatonic. But the BB box is one spot that's just an easy spot to access both sounds. You can access both sounds anywhere on the neck, but the particular BB box is just some classic guitar players like, yes, Albert King, BB King, obviously, because it's called BB box. They just sat in that position, so it kind of got nicknamed that. But really, it's just a way to kind of access major and minor in a comfortable spot on the guitar. Is my last name really Music? No. But that's funny because my daughter's friends would call me Mr. Music. Teenagers, Hi, Mr. Music. before I would go run and hide in my studio. They'd get that out before I would go run away. Daniel Jarvis, what inspired me to play guitar? Well, I always loved music. Josh Norco, thanks for the super chat. Loved music way before I started playing guitar. Just loved music, loved guitar. It seemed cool. But the like real inspiration to like actually play music for real and like really give it a shot. Logan Shoemaker, I've written my own music. But to really pick up an instrument, I saw Blues Traveler open for Santana back in like 1992, 93. And they were a younger band playing this music that now is called jam band music, but at the time there was no name for it. And I just was kind of inspired by that. And so I bought a harmonica because it was only $20. And I just started noodling around on harmonica because it was a cheap thing that I could get and mess around with no one being around. I could just play in my car or play in my bedroom or whatever. And then I had some friends that were already good at guitar in high school. And so instead of just watching my friends play guitar, I then took one step closer to, oh yeah, girls is a big part of it for sure. But I'm talking about the initial picking up an instrument. And yes, I have jammed with Blues Traveler now, Frank. Probably about 6 years ago, I jammed with the whole band. That was a dream come true. My high school version of me wouldn't have believed it. You can actually just look up me playing with Blues Traveler on YouTube. It's on my channel. But what I'm saying though is I don't want to necessarily be like Blues Traveler. It inspired me to get a harmonica, which then inspired me to then jam with my friends who were already good at guitar, which then took one more step to them starting to show me the basics of guitar. And then when I realized that it was coming easy to me, then I actually started to seek out like real guitar teachers. But at that point, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to improve. I knew some basics. So when from then on, I found guitar teachers that just showed me cool stuff. And then I just never looked back. But I was never intending to be a musician for a living or anything like that. So Blues Traveler, I feel like that was probably the first time they ever made it to California, was back then, 91, 92. And I think that might have been their first California show, was opening for Santana. It was all Bill Graham connected. Nanny Ray, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. But so anyway, yeah, BB Box, great technique, signature guitar, love it. I might check out the Santana guy. Jimbo Khan, Lagar's Weird, James Antoine, Dolny Face, Sueded. He says his friend Bill bought him 2 guitars to help him get through a rough patch. Shout out Bill for helping his person out. Life by the Drop. Oh, and I put that one guy in a timeout. Life by the Drop. What I do want to say about that, I was playing the open E minor pentatonic today. And so that's starting with that E. But Life by the Drop, Nanny Ray, thank you. So sweet of you. Richard Clark, thank you. Okay, so Life by the Drop actually uses the open A minor pentatonic. Chris Compton says, Blues Traveler, Brother John is an amazing jam. So it was weird as how I loved Blues Traveler in high school. And then when I went to college and I kept studying music, I ended up having this teacher in college named Jono Manson. And it turns out Jono was Blues Traveler's mentor. And I ended up actually being taught by Blues Traveler's mentor, not planned at all. But the reason I bring that up is because you're saying that song, Brother John. At the end when they go, let me think. Are you sleeping, brother? At the very end, they go, "Are you sleeping?" And then the response, "Are you sleeping, Brother John, Brother John?" That is Jono Manson. And I think Jono and John Popper just came out with a new song. It's not like I'm like best friends with them and in touch with them all the time, but that was, I'm much older now. It was 30 years ago, but that was the catalyst. And Daniel, that's the answer. I'm answering the question, dude. So you don't have to paste it anymore. I just answered the question. Daniel's going to get a timeout. Last week I did some blocks. Today I'm just doing timeouts. Timeout for Daniel. And the thing is, I don't know. There's a delay. He wanted me to answer, but I did answer. And so it's just a button away like that. A jam band style's a bit back. Do you have any thoughts on the band Mo? So I was in a band called, I'm from California, but I moved back here from New Mexico, which is where I went to college, did music, stayed in a band for a while before I moved back to California. In 1999, I auditioned for a band called Wise Monkey Orchestra. John Hallshalter, I would love for you to come to the show in Nashville on September 1st. It's going to be a great show with some amazing players, giveaways. Love to have you. Oh yeah, I'm the only mod today. Sometimes I usually have help, but Brian's not good for blocking people either. He just sits and chills. I just like having him around. Well, it literally is called a timeout on the button here. Let's see. What was I just talking about? Well, I just wanted to make sure. Oh, Mo. Yeah, so in 1999, I auditioned for a band called Wise Monkey Orchestra, and I got the gig. And next thing I know, I'm on tour for 3 months and playing all these different jam band festivals and other venues and blah, 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 blah. So there were a couple of times where we played with the band Mo, and I got to watch him right from the side of the stage and check him out, etc. And I was young. I was in my mid-20s, I guess. Don't even want to do the math. But let's see. I met the guitar player, Al, and he was really nice. And then I went to meet the bass player, and he was not nice. But, that's just in one moment. Give anyone a second chance. And I was a nobody. But yeah, the guy wasn't very cool. Most people were cool, but that bass player, and I see now he's like a cancer survivor. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago. Yeah. Now the open A minor pentatonic. Corey how do you say his last name? Corey Congilio? Congilo? I know him, yes, I do know him, but I don't know how to say his last name correctly. I just say, Corey, what's up, bro? Congilo? Okay, so the open A minor pentatonic, which is what Life by the Drop. See, I'm answering questions, but then I see a new question, so forgive me. I'm having fun. So that is like this. Starts on the open A. 03, 02, 02, 1303. Then you can have the blues note. Thanks, Nanny Ray. You caught the pick. Jane Doe caught the pick. Awesome. We broke the fourth wall there. If you caught the pick, then we did it. We finally did it. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, Doug Smith, good supporting others. Reith C, John Dobermick, Sean Hale, thank you. Daniel Jarvis, you did a lot of questions, Daniel, today, and I appreciate you. I'd love to go to the UK. I was there with Justin Sanderco like a decade ago. Josh Norco, thank you for the super chat. So kind of you. As far as like getting Epiphone to make me a guitar, Daniel, doesn't really work that way. You don't really make someone, or I know what you mean though. How did it happen? I started working with Gibson probably like not quite 5 years ago. And working with Gibson has a lot of different things to it, one of which I do a live event at the Gibson Garage in Nashville. I do content with the products, etc. They're Alnico pickups in this new guitar. But anyway, it's a working relationship. So I start working with the company. Liam, the guitar comes out August 22nd, and thank you for asking. But so, you start a working relationship, and it doesn't start right off the bat, with getting your own signature guitar. It starts with a working relationship, and a couple years in of yeah, Daniel, it's okay, buddy. Thank you, Daniel. I know. You're good. I really appreciate you, Daniel. But so you start working with a company, and then if it continues to go well, just like a friendship or a relationship, but with this, it's a little, it's more of a business relationship, but it's definitely personally involved. You form a relationship. It's a business relationship, but nonetheless a relationship that you develop. And then along the way, if it continues to be good for both people, in other words, I play a lot of the Gibson guitars and Epiphone guitars, and people see that, and they sometimes want to get one too because they like the way it sounds, or it's in there, they see it a lot, right? So that's part of what I do for them. And then also, signature guitar is kind of like a natural progression when you have a relationship like that. But yeah, like getting a signature guitar is not. I mean, I think all the stories are unique. Like Gibson's goes after guys like Slash, and these kind of like Tony Iommi, these like classic rock gods. And yes, they're older kind of classic legends, So I don't know if it works the same for every different thing, but like, let's say like Tom DeLonge, right? He's got a signature Fender guitar, or he's had one before. He's got a signature Fender, right? He didn't like meet Fender on the first day of them working together and say, hey, let's do a signature guitar. He said, hey, I really like Fender guitars. Can you, let's start a relationship. Okay, well, what kind of Fenders do you like? Oh, I like the offset. I like these kind of pickups. Okay, well, we're going to give you these and this and that. And then you develop the relationship. And then, somewhere down the road, the next step, I'd say, would be something like that. And then my hat, the hat I've been wearing for the last 2 years is different than the many years before. But the hat I'm wearing now is an American-made hat called Gorin Brothers, Goorin. I am not sponsored with them, but that's just the hat. This is called Dean the Butcher. And yes, Timothy Yancey, I am sponsored with Boss as well. And so that's a different relationship because, there's really not a huge demand or desire for me to have like Marty Schwartz signature Boss Katana, So that relationship's going to work in a different way. Um, but sorry, I'm looking at your comments at the same time here. Thank you, Mr. Turbo 888. This guitar comes out August 22nd. I'd love for you to follow my newsletter at martymusic.com. Cool looking at all your comments here. Oh, yeah. So my relationship with Boss, what's really great is I have so many beginner guitar players that learn from my videos, and the Boss Katana is like, I think, the best entry level amp that you can get to learn. And then I've been gigging with it the last couple years, and it's worked great. When I do a gig with it, I'm mostly just using the clean channel on the Katana, and then some nice pedals. But what's so cool about the Katana, especially if you're just learning, is you can go download all these patches from these classic songs that I have lessons for. And so it's just really a perfect kind of relationship, as opposed to me playing Marshalls or Mesa Boogie, which I do love Fender amps and Mesa Boogie amps. I gigged with Divided by 13, which is like a super nice boutique amp, but that's not the kind of company that you would have a working relationship with. Whereas Boss is just a perfect fit. And so yeah, September 1st at that Nashville show, I'll be giving away a Boss Katana to somebody. I'll be giving away my signature guitar. I'm going to have some really cool merch that's only available at the show. I'm going to be calling up people from the audience to jam a little bit, and then also special guests that I haven't announced all of them yet, but so far we've got Jared James Nichols and Guthrie Trapp, and many more to be announced. And then Frank, you said, explain how a patch works. Is it just setting instructions? You could actually probably the way there's a thing called Boss Tone Studio, and I have this MacBook here, and so with the MacBook, there's a USB cable out that goes into the old school. I don't have it in this Katana, but it's like the old school thick square old printer style USB cable, which isn't ideal, but you can plug your computer into it and then download Boss Tone Studio for the Katana, and then there'll be an interface, and it'll have all the. What's really cool about it, it's a little, you gotta do a little work to get to it, but once you get to it, once you get to it, there's a whole interface, and Boss, like all the classic Boss pedals are just in there digitally, and so you've got different fuzzes, overdrives, chorus, wah, synth, like all the classic wah sounds are built in to the amp. And so when you download a patch, it just immediately is all the settings that actually people way better than me at this have done. So the patches that I've made for my lessons, and there's so many now, and they're all on one page. Let's see. All right, so I just put in the a link in the comments there for Boss Tone Exchange, and so those are all the patches. But what's cool about the patches is I didn't actually go in and make them. People actually I worked with the like creators at Boss. We worked together to make those patches. And when I say work together, it's like, I'm picking the songs and whatnot, but they're literally going in that work for Boss and creating those patches to help. So yeah, so check out that link. So basically, you do need a computer to really do it, as far as I know. I don't know if there's a workaround. Photo Expo coming soon to a cinema near you. Back to the Future 4 with one and only Marty McFly Schwartz. Well, what's funny about that is I did actually originally pick the cherry red color, inspired specifically by Back to the Future. Just to let you know. And my name is Marty, if you didn't know that either. Logan Shoemaker. I have so many step-by-step courses at my website, martymusic.com. That's kind of what I do, but it's not, you pay for those courses, but I do have many step-by-step courses that would take you through the whole thing, or at least how I went about it. Guitar Studio, how do you grow a guitar channel? I started 15 years ago, right? I started 15 years ago and never took a break. So how you would go about it now is different than when I started. But what I would tell you to do is make the stuff that you like, make the stuff that's for you. And then also you gotta, I would say, commit to a certain amount of, give yourself a certain amount of time. Let's say for the next 6 months, I'm going to release 2 videos a week at the same time, and I'm going to just go for it. Because the more you do, the more you learn. The more videos you make, the more data you get back, or feedback you get on what's working and what's not. So the more you make, all of a sudden you'll realize that maybe 1 out of 20 videos has done better than the other ones, right? Well, then you go and look at that one that's done even if it's just a little bit better. You look at the one that's done a little bit better and you try and analyze why did that one do a little better and make more of that. And you just keep trying and trying and trying. And I'm still doing this to this day. It hasn't changed. That's just what I do. If you notice, I'm making more content than ever, and that's just because that's kind of the way things have evolved with shorter content. Matt Smith says, what's the best practice setup? I'll tell you what I really like. I like the amp, a few of my favorite pedals, and going into a looper, right? I can do so much with that. When I'm learning songs and playing along with songs, I use my phone and a little, 1/4-inch jack on the little Katana practice amp. Just a little one. It's in my office. I just have a little practice amp, and it has a headphone jack, and it has the MP3 jack, and it goes into my phone, and I have headphones on, and I'm playing with the mix. And then I use an app called Amazing Slowdowner to loop and slow down the riffs and songs that I'm learning. And then also a great app called Moises, which you have to pay for, but don't complain because it's an amazing technology and service. But Moises, I only say that because I plugged it and people complained that you'd have to pay for it like it was some ripoff, and I pay for it. I use it every day. But Moises will actually, and yeah, any little practice amp is good. It doesn't have to be the Katana. It's just what I use. Yes, I will definitely post videos from the show. But if you look right now on my channel, Daphne M, if you just go through my videos, you'll see that I played a legendary New York club. You can check that out just to see. It's going to be a similar show, not identical, but similar. Just look up Moises, Moises. But what Moises does is it actually isolates each track individually using AI technology, which they used in the Beatles documentary. They were using this new AI technology to isolate the instruments so they could change the mix, or you could hear them talk more, or you could hear them talk less. And so this app Moises, what I do is, for it to work, you have to kind of troubleshoot it a little bit. So what I do is I buy the song. Yes, more money spent. I spend $129 to buy the song, download it, the song on my iTunes. Then you import it into Moises. You open Moises and import it. Then it does its thing. And then I remix it, where I basically turn everything but the guitar down 3/4 of the way. So it's still mixed where you can hear drums, vocals, bass, and everything, but I have the guitar cranked way up. And then I export that, because Moises is amazing at isolating, but not as good at slowing down and looping and stuff for learning little sections. So once I've got the mix where the guitar is way louder, then I export it to Amazing Slowdowner. And then from there, I can slow it down, loop. I can, really analyze it. Nanny Ray, if you just go to my, let's see. If you go to my YouTube channel and just go to any regular video, you'll see some shirts and hats below the video. You can click on any of that. You can also click in the information box in my description. And if you just go to my main link tree link, there will be a link for my new merchandise. By the way, you guys, I have new merchandise. I haven't really plugged it yet. I have so many things I'm plugging. I just, the merch can wait to plug because the September show is important. The guitar release is important. My Access TV television show is more important. Let's see. Someone's wondering, should they backtrack and relearn or continue? I gotta say, it will really, I'm gonna plug my own thing here, but if you went to martymusic.com, I've got a beginner for electric course and a beginner for acoustic course. It takes you step by step in the order that I think you should learn to get the foundation. That's what I recommend. Let's see. Let me see if my merch. I'm gonna open a new window, you guys. But the whole point of my live stream's over, so anyone that's still hanging out, it's fine. We'll just have a little hang here. Okay, I just put the link up for my new merch. And I think I'm not going to be in Germany that I know of this year, but I've been to Germany before. And I really liked it. All right, I just pinned the new merch, but I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Jason from Chibson. You guys know Chibson on Instagram? Well, anyway, Jason Dove, the CEO of Chibson, actually made all this new merch for me. And we were just talking about Back to the Future, but if you look, there's Back to the Future style inspiration, Guitar Hero inspiration, Jason USA. Yeah. So if you guys check that link, there's some really cool new merch, and I just haven't had time to, well, not time. I have other things that are more important to promote, because really merch, merch for me, like shirts, hats, and all that, it's literally like advertising what I do. And so there's not a huge markup or anything. I'm not making a ton of money from it. So it's really just like anyone wearing my shirt, I'm so grateful for. I wish I could give them out for free, basically. And I almost, I'm not giving them out for free because they cost something to make, but I'm literally, have the lowest markup on them just because it's so cool to have people actually buy them. And yes, Jason made some great stuff. Oh, Keith H. Yeah, Patreon. So another thing I haven't promoted too strongly is my Patreon page. And I think one of the coolest things, although Keith maybe wouldn't want me to say this because Keith's part of that, but I think one of the coolest things I have on Patreon, and it starts at the lowest $5 tier, is once a month, the first Saturday of every month before this live stream, I do a Patreon only live stream. And a lot of people watch it, let's say maybe a couple hundred people watch it after it's already been recorded. But when I'm actually doing that Patreon live stream, it's usually under 10 people watching live, right? So if you really had questions, and I will just answer your questions, I will talk to you, I will literally show you anything you want to learn at guitar. on guitar, etc. And so that's Patreon only live stream. That's just once a month, but that's just $5 a month. And then the other parts of that $5 a month is you can vote. Like about once a month, I do a Patreon voted on only Patreon votes on one particular lesson I'm going to do. So that's another thing you guys can get from that. And then this only just opened up this week. Is I have 3 slots on Patreon for a live where you can take a private guitar lesson with Zoom lesson with me, and one of those slots open, but you just have to go to Patreon to check that out. Guitar Studio, you are my top commenter on YouTube. Well, thank you so much. Cool. Virginia Studios, cool. Josh Norco, yep, Patreon. I got interviewed. I got flown out to Patreon headquarters in San Francisco and got interviewed by the CEO, Jack Conte, for a series that he started called Digital Spaghetti, where he interviews creators. I don't think my episode is out yet, but I will share it when I find it. But that was actually really fun and cool. And it was really cool to see Patreon's headquarters. Yes, I love the Marty Music coffee mug is amazing. It looks like Starbucks, but it's my face. It's amazing. And once again, a huge shout out to Jason Dove for making all the new merch, dude. It's awesome. Poland, nice. Daphna, beautiful. Poke Ninjas. Hello. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I got more of my day to do. Oh, Poke Ninjas. Well, you're going to have to watch now that it's over, but I appreciate you. All right. So one more time, September 1st in Nashville at Analog. Signature Epiphone ES335 coming out August 22nd. Marty Music Guitar Academy on Access TV, Tuesdays at 8 Central. For any of this information, I appreciate you following me on Instagram and signing my newsletter at martymusic.com. All right. That's really it now. Thanks, guys. But, there was so much talking there, but it was because I kind of did everything I wanted to do. I got to end it now with Johnny Be Good, right? For those of you that are actually still here.